So, thank you for watching. I hope you find this video helpful. So, first of all, I would like to thank all of you because our channel has actually reached 178 subscribers. So, it is really a huge encouragement for me to keep on create more videos for other students. And most of you will be sitting for your examination next week, which is your paper 2 and paper 4 for the following weeks. So I wish you all the best in your examination and pass it with flying colors. So thank you. So for the first question, there's actually two ways to solve this. So first one is to use the compound interest formula. So in our case, the balance is actually 85%. Okay, so just take 18,000 times 85% to the power of 3 to get the final result. So alternatively, you can just repeat multiplying the value by 85% 3 times, and you will get the same answer. Whereby for the next question, okay, to find the original value, simply take original times 85% equals to $14,025. Okay, so you do the shifting, then you'll be able to find the answer. As for the next one, it is also the same thing, okay? So capital times 105% to the power of 2, then you will get 286.65. So do the shifting, then you'll be able to identify that your capital is actually 260. As for the next question, things to take note here is that for simple interest, okay, if you were to run the calculation, okay, your final results will turn out to be interest only. So you are required to take out the 200 from 224.72. By doing so, you'll be able to identify the interest is actually 6.18%. Whereby for the compound question, then no changes is required to the 224.72. So run the shifting, then you'll be able to get the final results as 6%. For question 2, it is pretty straightforward. Simply substitute 0 and 3 into the equation to find the value of y. So with that being said, now you are required to draw out the graph. So it should look something like this. After you drew it out, the first question of part C is asking what would the results be when y equals to 0. So there's actually 3 intersection points, okay, when y equals to 0. So just write that down, okay. As for the next part, it's a little bit trickier. Okay, so you're required to shift out all the excess variable to the other side. So in our case, it is actually negative x. So when y equals to negative x, then you're required to set out points in order for you to draw the line. So after you drew out the line, okay, it should look something like this. And the intersection point between the lines will be the answer. As for part D, it is a flat line. So y equals to 1 or y equals to negative 0.33. Okay, so write down the possible value of y when it is between 0 and 3. So this is actually repeating. The results will be y equals to negative 0.33. First one, as mentioned in the question, you are required to use sine rule to find AB. Okay, so run the calculation to get the final answer. Whereby for part B, okay, you are required to use the formula half sine DAC times the side AD and AC equals to the 12,000 that was given. So this question, you are required to prove that the angle DAC, based on this calculation, you are able to get 33.75. Okay, so simply round up the result that you have gotten, then you'll be able to prove the statement. For you to calculate BD, okay, so for what I like to do is I like to draw the graph out. Okay, so utilize the information that we have gotten. So for you to find CAB is actually take 180 minus 85 minus 50, then you get 45. Then use cosine rule to find the length of BD. As for next question, the bearing D from A is 30. So you're required to utilize this information, else you wouldn't be able to get the answer. So B from A is actually 30 plus 33.75 plus 45, then you will get 108.75 degree. Whereby for you to find A from B, simply add the results by 180, okay, because it is a straight line, as you can see from what I have drawn. So as for the next question, question 4. Okay, first thing, the average speed. Okay, simply takes the total distance divided by the total time. In our case, is actually 40 minutes. Okay, so the 40 minutes, you are required to convert it into hours by dividing 60 to it. Okay, then you will get a average speed of 15 km per hour. Whereby for you to calculate the mean, all you need to do is to find the midpoint first for every single group, then multiply the midpoint with the frequency, divide by 200, then you will get the final results. As for part C, as usual in all my video, you are required to calculate the one that was given first, because for certain question there will be skill factor that you are required to multiply it in to every single group. So in our case it is 4.4, so no changes is required. Then just repeat frequency divided by class interval, then you'll be able to get the answer and draw out the graph. As for the next one, okay, this is actually cumulative frequency, so simply add up the frequency. Okay, so with that information, you now can draw out the cumulative frequency diagram. Okay. For part 3, find the median. Median simply means 50%. So all you need to do is take 200 times 50%, then you will get 100. So from 100 you draw it down, then you'll be able to find the median time. And 90th percentile basically means 90%. So just take 200 times 90%, then you get 180. Okay, so when you drew it down, it will show you that it is somewhere around 55. Okay, and then for the last one, the numbers of people who took more than 58 minutes. So this one is the other way around. You draw up from 58 minutes and then you will get 190. So 200 minus 190, then you will get 10. As for the next question, so you're required to fill up the tree diagram first. So for those that will grow up flowers is 7/8 and no flowers is 1/8. And for those that grew up flowers, it will be 3/4 in red color and 1/4 in yellow color. So calculate the probability. Okay, for the first part, first it must be, the plants must grow flower and it must be red in color. So just take 7/8 times 3/4 to get the results. Whereby for the next part, 2 plants are chosen at random and produce red flowers. So just take the probability that we gotten earlier, multiply it twice. Then for part B, 200 plants that grew out flowers. So 200 times 7 over 8, you get 175. So for part C, there's actually 2 ways you can solve this question. So the first one is the straightforward ones. All you need to do is take the total plants that Gabriel has bought, multiply by 21 over 32 equals to 1575. So you do the shifting, then you'll be able to find the total. Alternatively, you can calculate it this way by taking plant that grow, multiply by 3 over 4 equals to 1575. Then you'll be able to get 2100. Okay, but that's not the end, because 2100 is actually 7 over 8 of the plant Gabriel has bought. So you need to take 2001 divided by 7 over 8 and you will get 2400. For question 6, part A, the keyword here is that they both has the same volume. Okay, for you to find the volume of cuboid, simply multiply 0.8, 1.5 and 1.1 together. Since the volume that we have gotten is 1.32, then you just take pi times r squared times h equals to 1.32. So run the shifting, then you'll be able to get the answer. For the part 3, so it's very easy for you to actually find the surface area of a cuboid, so I won't mention anything about that. So my main focus here is that you are required to take note for you to calculate the surface area of a cylinder. Remember to add the top and the bottom area of the cylinder, okay, into your calculation. So simply minus them off, then you'll be able to get the answer of 0.51. Okay, the first equation has already been given, which is 2x plus 3y less than 24. Okay, so the remaining value will actually be 9 sweets in each bag. So x plus y is more than equals to 9. And there are at least 2 lemon sweets. So y will be at least more than equals to 2. So the first line that I have drawn is actually 3y equals to 24 minus x. Simply set up the point, okay, then plot it out, join them together. So I actually make a mistake on this line because I overlooked that it's actually less than, not less than equals to. So the line that I'm supposed to draw is actually dotted line. Okay, so you are required to take note on this. So the remaining 2 lines is y more than equals to 2. So simply draw a straight line, then you'll be able to find the region. As for the last part, it is you're required to repeat what I've done with the 3y equals to 24 minus 2x. So you get when x is 0, y is 9, when y is 0, x is 9. So join the line together, then shade off the unwanted part. Lastly, the lowest cost of the bag of sweet. Okay, this is actually the left hand corner of the triangle. So you will actually get 20 cents, okay, when y is exactly at 2 and x is actually 7. For question 7, okay, so simply take 200 dirhams, divide by 3.67, then you will get 54.50 after you round it up to 2 decimal places. For part B, it's very straightforward, so I won't do any voiceover for this part. The following part is actually utilize the information that we have gotten earlier. So phrase it this way: 1000 divided by x bracket x plus 1 equals to 4.5. So by doing the shifting, then you'll be able to prove the equation. Okay. Then for the following part, this is actually using the negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So usually when I do this kind of question, I like to write it down. So a is actually 9, b is also 9, and c is negative 2000. Okay, so that when I substitute in the value, I won't make any mistakes. For the last part, you are actually required to justify which variables to use, okay, from those that you have gotten earlier. Okay, so the x results can be in positive and negative, so you need to justify which one is more suitable. So in our case, the 14.42 is the right one to choose. So just take 1000 divided by 14.42, then you will get 69.35 as the final results. For question 8, first thing you need to identify is DAE is a straight line, hence DAB value will be 100. Remember the formula, outer layer of the angle is actually half of the inner layer. So DOB, the major sector, will be 200, hence V will be 360 minus 200, then you get 160. So the value of U is actually half of V, so it is 80. Whereby for part B, the core concept here is that the radius, okay, which is OH and GO, okay, is actually 8 cm. So with that being said, GH at the middle there, it will be 5 and 5 respectively. So with the hypotenuse of 8 and a 5, we'll be able to use Pythagoras theorem to identify the height of this triangle will actually be 6.245. Whereby for part C, so this one just basically run a basic comparison, then you'll be able to get the answer. As for part D, this is the tricky one. Okay, so you can see from what I've written, area YRS over X equals to area YQP over 2X. So for area, please remember to square root it. Okay, by doing so, okay, you're required to get rid of the square root. So I squared both sides. Okay, so x will become x squared and 2x will become 4x squared. So you cross multiple. At the end, you will get x value as 4. Question 9. Okay, so basically just substitute the x value as -6 into the equation. Then you will get y results as 1.5. Okay, as for part 2 is just basic shifting, so I won't do any voiceover for this part. Okay. So for part B, simply substitute the 5 into x position, then you will get the results as -3. So for part 2, it might look confusing. However, you just solve it step by step like what I did, then you'll be able to get the final results. Okay, so for part 3, basically just write down 2 minus x equals to 2 to the power of 3. Okay, then you do the shifting to find that x equals to -6. As for the last one, this is actually a inverse function. Okay, so this is the step breakdown. So first you change gx into y equals to 2 minus x, swap their place, okay, then you rearrange to get the new y. Okay, so the new y will actually be 2 minus x. So 2 minus x equals to -1, then you get x results as 3. As for the last question, okay, so this is actually about perimeter. So for a rectangle, so it is 3x plus 3x plus x equals to 60. So 8x equals to 60, x equals to 7.5. Whereby for B part, you're required to use Pythagoras theorem to find the hypotenuse first. Okay, then you get 5x actually. So add all three up equals to 60. Run the shifting, then you will get x equals to 5. The last one, things to take note here is, okay, for the formula that we have learned, which is 2 pi r, is for a full circle. So in our case, this is actually 90 over 360 times 2 times pi times x plus 2x, okay, because it is perimeter, equals to 60. So I actually subtracted 2x from the left hand side of the equation. Okay, so I will get 2x bracket 90 over 360 times pi plus 1. Okay, so alternatively you can just shift out x. Okay, so your results will actually be 60 divided by 90 over 360 times pi plus 1. Okay, then you divide by 2 again to get the final results of 16.8.